Hello, fashionistas. It's Elaine Lessig on behalf of Closet Confidential on the Canine Chronicle webpage and on their Facebook page. And I have a message for you. Happy New Year! Oh my goodness, goodbye 2020. Hello 2021. Are we excited? And what do fashionistas do on New Year's? They have a party. So come on in, the vault is open, and I can't wait to have fun, laugh, enjoy, because it's the new year. So come on in, everything's ready for you. Well, here we are in the closet, ladies. The vault is open, and we have not only ladies with us, but we have the Tim Lehman, star of hair on Canine Chronicle Closet Confidential. So we're going to get started. Linda Pitts, thank you so much for coming. Kimberly Meredith, thank you so much. Amy Booth, and of course, the Tim Lehman from New York, salon fame. And what we thought we would do today is have a virtual party. And the only party a bunch of girls and their hairdresser ever has is a gab fest. It doesn't go any other way. So anybody at home who's watching, I hope you're with somebody that you can have your own gab fest. Kim, that's much better lighting on you now. We can see you drinking your champagne. Okay.
Well, it's difficult because when there's light behind you, it darkens the foreground. I could go inside, I guess. I might do that.
Whatever you're comfortable with.
No, your view looks so beautiful.
I may do that.
We just want you as you are, because that's what fashion is all about, is being comfortable with yourself and making yourself look good. So there are all kinds of things. I brought some interesting products to talk about to start the new year, but there's this new thing going on. And Amy, I want you to tell us all about it. So like, what's hot?
Color Street. Color Street is hot. I think everybody, there's a lot of us that sell Color Street now, especially after COVID hit in the United States, and we couldn't make a living showing dogs, and we couldn't go to nail salons.
But we can sure as heck make money making ourselves glamorous. So tell us about Color Street.
What is Color Street? I don't even know what it is.
It's this beautiful dry polish strips that you put on your nails. I have it on my toes as well, and this is what they look like in a package. Let me get you some out. They come in a package like this.
Really?
And really, it's dry nail polish that you put on your nails, and it's instantly you're set to go. You don't have to wait for them to dry. No drama. Put your shoes on immediately afterwards. It's an awesome product.
Huh. How long does it last for?
Believe it or not, like these that are on my nails right now, I put them on Christmas afternoon, so that's already 1 week. And I have a dumpster outside. I've been doing my spring cleaning at Christmas time, so I have been working like crazy, grooming dogs, cleaning kennels. My husband is up in Michigan right now doing the same thing at our old Michigan house, which is going to be up for sale shortly. So we've been cleaning like crazy, and they last like forever.
Wow.
So,
wow.
And you mean the Housewives of New York do not know about this, Tim?
I've never heard of them. I've never heard of them.
Amy, I have a question for Amy. I feel like we're on one of those tutorials. So I have a question, Amy. Is it true that the glitters are easier to apply than the solids?
You got it, for sure.
Okay.
They're more forgiving. So if you accidentally don't have it lined up just right, the glitters almost always look okay no matter how you apply them. So
I'm going to order some from you.
Okay, great.
Janice is the #1 salesperson in the USA. Did you know that?
Yeah, she started off, she was one of the first people who signed on during all of this, so she got a lead start on some of us, but it's really rampant every bit. I think, Linda, you were a stylist too, weren't you?
I have an account. Let's put it that way. I'm not an active salesperson because that's not my lane, but I use them occasionally.
So
Linda just wanted to be able to get enough of her own. And
Did this start with COVID?
Right.
I'm a hoarder.
Actually,
Did this start with COVID?
the company started 3 years ago,
I love you.
but it really vamped up and went crazy during COVID. And now my lead, my diamond executive, her team has over 300 million in sales.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it's crazy. But Linda is what we would call a wholesale stylist, which is someone that buys for themselves and has a couple friends that likes to buy with them and meets the monthly minimum.
She's like the head drug dealer for this.
So is it kind of like
No,
Mary
I'm
Kay?
low on
Narcos too much.
The same thing.
Is it kind of like Mary Kay where you have to buy a certain amount every month?
No, not at all.
No.
There's you don't have to buy any inventory because it's all an online sale. You have a website that you can sell from. You can have your own inventory like I do and sell from that as well. So I'll bring it to dog shows and sell to friends that way too. But you don't have to.
Great, that's cool.
Fascinating.
Great,
And see,
great
I thought
side gig.
and we will get this posted with our Canine Chronicle episode of Closet Confidential, and we will make sure that people know where it's available. And we always do things like that. And gee, I thought I had something really great when I found this absolutely wonderful Almay Goddess Glass lip gloss, which will take anything and gloss it up and give it some.
I need glasses for this.
Okay, so here it is, and we're going to put this up on the website just so everybody can see. It's Almay Goddess Glass, and everybody should know I've always called Kim the goddess of formerly California.
Aww.
And it's a great product, and it really does. And the other thing is it does really nice. If you want to get a little patch right over here to get a little glisten on those upper cheeks, it does a great job on that too. So that was one of my little tips, and I have a couple of others. So what's your tip, Linda?
And highlight.
Exactly. Perfect. One little thing that does two things, and it's just a little tube. And Linda, what is your greatest, besides wonderful things we've just talked about? Anything else you've found that you think is just fabulous that we should all try in 2021?
Botox.
Botox. Okay.
Good girl.
Botox and fillers.
I have to go get it though. I've discovered something. I'll be right back.
Don't be afraid. They didn't spend all that money
agree.
in getting that stuff for nothing.
It doesn't matter how good your hair looks if your face doesn't look quite right. It's really difficult.
I'm in a lot of trouble because you cannot put a needle, even a dentist can't put a needle inside my cheeks. My whole face goes black and blue.
Oh, really?
Inside your cheeks.
So
Nobody's putting a
ladies,
needle
you
inside
know
your
I have
cheeks.
never had Botox.
Maybe you need to try somebody different. Do they put ice on your face first? Not that I've ever done Botox.
No. I mean, I've only had needles. Anytime I've ever had dental work, and you have to put that stupid thing that they put on that like drape or whatever.
Yeah, but if
and
you put ice on your face first before they put a needle in, it shouldn't bruise.
Well, next time I go to the dentist, I'll try it there first. But who knows?
Well, what if? Yeah.
But who knows? And what? Oh, look who's back again! It's the goddess of California.
Hey, so I thought, does anyone use concealer under your eyes?
Yeah.
Okay. Or I have two really big scars now on my forehead. One from falling, and I had 90 stitches right here, which is really ugly. And then I had 95 stitches here due to cancer. So basically, I'm a scarred up mess. And I need concealer for my scars. And so I found this. It's crazy. It's not expensive. It's like it's Maybelline. Okay. It's getting cheaper than Maybelline. And it's called Fit Me. And it's a concealer. And it's like $8, whatever. And it hides my scars. And if you've got bags under your eyes, you can put it underneath your eyes. And I've been using this stuff. I love it. I mean, Maybelline. What do you think?
Maybelline, and the product is Fit.
It's called Fit Me. Fit Me. F-I-T. It comes in all different colors. And it really stays, and it covers up even my scars, which I had. They're bad. So
wow, that's great.
Yeah, and let's see what else it says. It says, yeah, just concealer, and I use a number 10, which is a color, but it's fabulous, and it's cheap.
Who knew, right? Who knew?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, Tim, we want to know in 2021, what the heck should we be doing with our hair? Because I find the fact that mine has become like so fly away, I could scream.
I think go to the salon.
Well, okay, so Tim, I need to ask you a question. I have, as you know, naturally curly hair.
Right.
Extremely naturally curly. Okay. And I've always had very, very thick hair. Always had thick hair. Okay. My hair, I am now 65 years old, and I have no hair left. It's like totally thinning. I mean, when I grab it in the shower and I go to dry it, I'm like, I don't have any hair anymore.
Yeah.
What can we do? Is it just aging?
Are you part of it? Are you doing anything for it? Are you doing anything?
I use LUS products out of Canada for deep conditioning and leave-in. I also use
but you don't take any supplements.
I had just started. I just started. But you know, I've also been through a lot of stress the last year and a half with my husband cheating and lying, and that's when it started falling out.
You know what? That makes perfect sense. It is unbelievable in women how much hair loss is due to stress in their life. And especially even like this year with everybody's nerves fried for one reason or another. Yeah, it's a combination of hormones in a woman and stress. You know, I mean, are you doing a single process on your hair or double process?
I don't do anything.
Oh, well,
it's just my hair.
Okay, that's your natural color?
Yeah.
Wow,
well, now it's basically now starting to come in gray, like right here.
Okay, because the only thing
it blends in.
Then you know what you could do is you could always put, you know, like some color in your hair, and that would help give it more body, so it would feel like it's thicker. You know,
is it ever going to come back to being thick, or am I just screwed?
You know, are you on any other kind of medication for any kind of thing in your body going on?
Thyroid.
Because that will affect your hair also, big time. So medication can have a huge effect on hair.
Except I have to have thyroid because I have no thyroid.
You do.
So
you do. My suggestion really would be to like try to take any of the supplements, you know, that are good for increasing your hair, you know, for the thickness, but also maybe do some highlights on your hair.
What about hormones? Should I go on hormones? Would hormones help?
That's a whole different thing. I mean, I can't answer that.
I mean, I'm desperate here. I'm desperate, girls. I'm desperate. I mean, I think
you just said you weren't going to be dating anymore, so why do you need to go
It just bothers me. I have no hair.
Okay, but listen.
She wants to date herself.
Highlights.
Yeah, I'm the only one I can depend on.
There you go.
Okay, but listen, highlights are a lot safer than hormones. All right, just to add some thickness to your hair. Does your hair looking thin at the scalp? Like, can you see your scalp?
Oh yeah, it's just I have none. Look.
Okay, but you can't see your scalp. You can't see your scalp through your hair.
No.
Okay. You know what else you could always?
I'm afraid that's next, so I'm going to really freak out.
No, but you could always cut it a little bit shorter because, you know, whenever you cut it a little bit shorter, it does get thicker looking. It feels like thicker.
But then I look like Bozo or Ronald McDonald.
Another thought, Kim, is a product from a company called Reservage, and it's called Trey Beauty 3, and it's collagen and some other things that are in it. One's for hair, nails, and skin.
Well, I bought all of the ones you told me with the magnesium, all the stuff you sent me. I'm on all of that.
Okay, but this is something else.
But you know what, though? But you know what? Before you get crazy about it, it's kind of like in dogs. No matter what supplements we give them, no matter what we feed them, no matter what we do to their hair, the ones that have the gorgeous hair have gorgeous hair, and you can't ruin it.
But I always have the thickest.
So we hate you, Linda Pitts.
But I mean, it's part of, you know, it's like the skin. You know, everything changes. I mean, you know.
I wanted to get you out of the chair. Linda had something she wanted to say, and I wanted to hear it.
Oh, I was just saying, Kim, that's what Tim said is absolutely true, because if I don't have all the colors in my hair, it's literally like a wet rag. So the minute it starts to fall, I mean, it's time for me now to go back and get some more highlights. It just adds so much volume and stability.
And even like if
Really?
you, because Linda, are you a single in highlights?
No, double.
That's what I mean. You
Of
are a single
course.
process and you are a double, right?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, exactly. And the double does even more, just because even the single process adds a lot of body to the hair.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Okay.
So
Well,
you
I'm
can
gonna
really
do
like,
it.
about that, does anyone like the darker hair on me?
I
I
love
do.
it.
I love it.
Love
I
it.
love it when your hair is that color and then you just have very light, slight highlights. I love
right
that.
now, you know what? Right now in this light, you look very young, pretty, and wholesome.
You
Yes.
do.
Correct.
I
You look
told ya.
you look
Yeah.
like a purity commercial there, girl. You
Oh.
You
certainly
do.
do.
You, it's a really
could do,
nice,
yeah,
natural
exactly.
look. It's a
Thank
really
you.
nice, natural, clean look on you. I like it a lot.
I feel like when my hair goes darker, my eyes kind of pop a little bit more.
That's true.
It's
That's
better
true.
with your skin tone too, I think.
It
Yeah.
makes me look tanner, even though I'm not really tan right now.
So
Well,
Kim,
you're
I
in
really
Florida.
think you should talk to somebody, you know, on your coast about your hair color, what you can do, and tell them you want to do it to make your hair feel thicker and to get more texture out of it.
Okay. Okay.
You know what would have been fun is taking you to the salon to see Tim if we were all going to Westminster.
Oh,
That
yeah.
would
I
have been fun.
know. What do you guys think about June and oh, you're all muddy. What do you guys think about June and outdoors and all of that? And no motorhome parking.
And showing a Maltese if it rains.
Yeah, what do you guys think? Honestly, you're handlers. You both carry big strings of dogs.
I'm not real thrilled with the idea of no motorhomes and no air conditioning. So but it is what it is. I guess we have to let it play out and see what happens. I think the no motorhome thing is a big problem.
Well,
But
They're not going to let you put
sold
the
out.
motorhome on. They're not going to let you have the motorhome on even just for the day.
No.
Nothing over
Like the old
25
Westchester
feet.
show. Wow.
So everybody's going to find a truck that's less than 25 feet and put a generator in, let the air conditioning go. Welcome to our world.
Right.
Do you guys remember? You know the show site from the old Westchester show,
Oh, yeah.
right? You guys,
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah.
And that was a nightmare to get in and get out, especially because that was on, you would go up there first for Tuxedo on a Friday, which was a big traffic day around the bridges. And oh my God, you'd have to be in line at whatever time.
And there's no overnight parking.
No,
Right?
there's no parking
Are
there
you
hardly
serious?
at all. No, there's very limited. It's a
Well, what
Right,
are the
so
handlers?
they're gonna
What are you
shuttle you
handlers
in.
going to do?
Wait, but
What are you
even
going
when
to do?
even when Westchester was there, I remember like seeing the signs for like spectator parking that was off grounds, and then they would bring them in like through the bus.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, I live like about 7 minutes from those showgrounds. It's like the closest
Okay,
show
so
ever to
parking
me.
on Tim's driveway is an extreme.
Moving indoors. So just
Right.
keep talking. I'm moving
I have a
indoors.
question for all of you. I'm in my closet. You guys are all in your various places at home. With limited places to go, and other than, the clothes that you wear to do your work, what are you doing about the rest of your life in fashion? Are you bothering to buy anything new? And if you are, what are you buying? Or are you just saying nobody sees me the other times and I'm not bothering? Amy, how are you handling that?
I was just thinking, we went with a couple of friends through a drive-through lights show in town just before Christmas. And, people that are already in our group as far as staying safe for COVID, and you just drove through it, so you weren't out in public. But I got dressed up to go, and Phil was like, "Where do you think you're going?" And I said, "There's no options to get dressed up, and I love getting dressed up, so I'm dressing up." So it is weird right now to basically be home almost all the time, and if we're out, we're only at dog shows. It's not out to dinners. It's not out to anything. So my spending as far as clothing wise is definitely cut back right now.
Linda, the same thing?
No.
I bought a few things
Show
online.
clothes,
Plus, I had to
Linda,
have
show
some
clothes
coats for
do
the
not
Florida
count.
circuit. If we're in
Yeah.
Florida for 6 weeks, who knows? The weather could be 30 degrees one morning. So I just bought some coats. And other than that, Mike got a bunch of new suits because his were wearing out, and we had to go through a closet clean out episode.
Very good. We're proud
Yeah.
to hear that. And Amy did a closet clean out. I hadn't bought anything really much new except the things I was going to wear in Woodstock last June, but we didn't get to Woodstock
Well,
last June.
save
So
it
I've
because
got
we're
all these crazy psychedelic clothes.
But you're
in the
going to be
closet.
there in 2022.
I know, but
Yeah,
my goodness, I'm looking at those clothes and going, what were you thinking?
But also,
Because they're fabulous.
the only thing good about Westminster being in June is that we don't have to go on a diet after the holidays by February, and we don't have to buy anything new for the garden in February.
Yes, you do, because you probably don't have those kind of clothes that you can wear in the heat that will be
No, but we
comfortable
can do
and
that in May, or
fabulous.
we can do it April or May. We don't have to do it right now. Like usually,
I'll
this
suffer.
like after the first, it's like, oh, I got to lose the extra holiday weight before the garden, and I usually want to get a new suit for the garden, but not this year, at least
Well,
now.
this was part of the things I had bought to wear like for dinner or something at the garden, but it looks just as good in the closet, I guess.
It does. Looks very nice.
Well,
what I can see.
what really are you going to do? And I think that accessories are something that we're really not buying. I mean, other than people being gifted wonderful pocketbooks, I can't imagine, going out right now and, going to find one. It's just like, why? I find it's much safer to just keep things in your pockets and do whatever, not carry a big bag with you when you go to the supermarket or the drugstore or the wonderful places I get to go, Trader Joe's.
Yeah. I mean, the stores in New York, like on Madison Avenue, are just dead. If they're even still open, they're just, there's not a soul in them. I was even shocked.
You mean the ones that weren't demolished by people banging into them?
Yeah, there's still a lot that were not ruined or anything. But even like where the salon is in the 70s on Madison, the Cartier store went out of business there. Cartier, that should have been just fine through this.
How is your salon?
Dead. It's really, really off. Probably we have maybe 25% of the business because most people.
I'm guilty of that, because if I'm going to be home and with the dogs and I'm not, going out to judge or whatever, that's.
I make
can't
a lot
see
of
going
house
getting my
calls.
hair done.
Yeah, but I do a lot of house calls now, so it's okay.
Of course you do.
But
The
the salon
housewives
is.
of New York are very demanding, Tim, aren't
Well,
they?
but the truth
Love
is,
them.
yeah, but the truth is the housewives of New York are out of New York right now because everybody in New York is at their second or third home if they have it. They're not in the city, so it's really quiet.
I have a question for all ladies of out of the youngster stage, but it's good for real. I've been using the simple pads on my face. Are you all familiar with them?
No.
Mm-mm.
They're product out of England, and I'm finding them to be really, really good. The first one is just these simple cleansing wipes.
Oh, yeah.
And they not only do you take off the stuff on your face, they are amazing for getting rid of the mascara on your eyelashes.
Really?
They are phenomenal. They also make.
And where do you find them?
I actually buy them from Amazon. I found that they've got the best price and most consistent availability. They're hard to find in a store. They're made in England, and they come over from England. And these are the for sensitive skin, because I have such little sensitive skin. And they also make, if you can find them, these are the hardest ones to find. And these will do, and it says right on the package, they are good for removing mascara.
Oh, wow.
These are the ones that are for eyes, just, alone. But honestly, the regular ones are terrific. And then I found regeneration, age-resisting ones. And they are unbelievable. And since I am resisting aging,
clearly,
I was going to buy a dozen packages of them, but they were limiting you to 6. I'll be back for more. And they came like all tied together in saran wrap or whatever, and they are
you should be their spokesperson.
I should be.
Okay.
And how did you discover them?
I realized that taking off, as you know, when we're in hotel rooms, and most of us are a lot of the time, the lighting in a hotel room is the worst.
Right.
And I realized that I thought I was taking off my makeup, and then when I would go to, I was like still loaded with, and I don't wear that kind, but like especially my eyes. And so I kept looking and looking. I was in TJ Maxx one day. In fact, that's where this package came from. There's the TJ Maxx label. And I was going through all the packages, and they had these age-resisting and was for sensitive skin. And it's age resisting, everybody.
Wait,
Resist.
that's a
Do not
great
go
marketing
gentle into
line.
that dark
Age,
night. Fight,
age
fight,
resisting,
fight
you'll buy anything. You know,
Well, anyway, and,
Right?
Anything and everything.
and I have
Anything and
been
everything.
using, I have been
age
using,
I'll be
resistant,
right back.
age resistant, and hair thickening. Okay,
exactly,
There you go.
so
and I've been using the ones for
Me
my,
up for the hair thickening.
and they were really good. So then when I found I found that there was this whole variety of them, and then I found out they were from England, and I wasn't going to exactly be ordering from them. And you can't consistently find anything in TJ Maxx. It's either there or it's not there.
Right.
So I went on Amazon, and God bless them, there they were, and the price was just almost as good. And I just thought, buy now.
Huh.
And there they were, and I've really been enjoying them. And I want to tell everybody who's out there watching that simple products are really good, and they do what they say they're going to do. They're not prohibitive, and go for it. And they're very easy when you travel with.
Well, you can put it in a motorhome too because you don't have to use water.
Exactly. And then the thing just opens up. You pull one out, you use it, you throw it away. And honestly, one of these will remove all the mascara from your eyes.
Because we're in the call. Hey, everybody, here's Phil.
Hi, Bill. We hope you're having a wonderful time in the dumpster.
He's like,
Pass on a mask. Is that because of people or the dumpster?
Can you hear him? Can you hear them?
Not very good.
Not very good, he says. He's in Walmart now getting supplies for cleaning.
By the way,
Oh.
Walmart used to have Simple, and now they don't anymore.
Elaine,
How
I
much
think you're
for
getting a
Walmart?
cut.
All right, well, I'll call you back.
All right, what's up there?
Okay,
Say
bye-bye.
hi to everybody, okay? Bye.
Okay, he says
Okay,
hi to
bye.
everybody.
hi.
So they are really good, and I really, if you're looking for something because just to keep your skin going, because you're not going to be, you just do it. And then when you do go out and people do see you, but of course this part of your face nobody sees anymore, so it can not have to worry about it.
I don't recognize anybody at the dog shows anymore. People walk
So true.
by me, and I'm like, I don't know who they are. It's weird. I can't recognize people. So I guess they
Yeah,
can't accuse us judges of being prejudicial anymore because I don't know who the hell anybody is. So.
Yeah, I found the same thing when I was in Orlando. I'd take some double takes sometimes. Like, is that so and so or not? I couldn't tell.
Okay, Linda, anything you've started using that you never used before that you think is fab?
No, I'm not much of a product person. I mean, I spend all my money on my hair, and every time I do something with my skin, I break out like a 16-year-old girl. So
Then you have
I
sensitive
just need
skin.
Baby, you must have good skin, right? You have good skin.
It's okay. It's like a lot of laser treatments later. It's okay, but I use very little. I use purity products, and not even every day, just because I'm just trying to manage it.
Do you use sunscreen when you're out at outside dog shows and that?
I use my foundation has sunscreen in it. It's from that Kimara Unert salon.
Oh, I know her well. Yeah. She's just right up the street from our salon. Yeah.
I love
she's great.
I love their products. We went
really?
year for a few years. We went and had ourselves done up for the fancy New York dinner.
Did Kamara do you? Did Kamara do you herself?
No, not herself. No.
Oh, if you want to go there again, let me know because she does makeup. I mean, I work with her sometimes.
Yeah. That'd be great.
You're going to be getting a lot of phone calls, Tim.
Well, but
Tim,
there's
I have one more hair question.
Edit that out.
I have one more hair question for Tim. Tim,
Yeah.
naturally curly hair, should it be layered or not layered?
It all depends on the style. I mean, I think you need some layers in your hair. Otherwise, it's going to end up looking like a broom on the bottom.
Yeah, that's what's happening. Okay, yeah. I have a new hairdresser. She doesn't layer. She doesn't believe in it, and it's bad. Yeah. Okay.
Well, that
you
may
need to
not
have
be the new hairdresser anymore.
You need to have some layers in your hair. Yeah, you need to.
Okay.
Yeah.
Amy,
Even if
you
they're
look
long
fabulous.
layers.
You look like you're about 16.
Ooh, we have to know that Phil Booth then. Amy 16.
All I can say is I absolutely love where I'm living now. It's so easy to work. I don't know if you could see back there, but there's a little puppy pen over here that my puppies go in, and further back is the kennel. And then over here is a big yard where the dogs can all run. And then this little house right here is got Phil's lawnmower in it. And that makes Phil a happy man when he could sit on his little lawnmower and mow. So Kim was saying earlier that she knew that the house she's living in is a house that she wanted. And ever since we started working for Robin Greenslade and showing her giant schnauzers and visiting here every January, I knew this was a place that I wanted to live. And as soon as it was available, she couldn't have offered it twice. And I love it. So it makes me happy.
That's fabulous.
And then,
now, are you doing commercial boarding or just your own dogs?
during COVID, we did board some people's dogs.
Okay.
And we had a whole protocol of them dropping off on the side of the house, a station for them to leave the dogs, and then a station to bring them to the back. But now we have enough dogs that we're showing that we don't have room for commercial boarding as well. And we have some good help. So every handler, like Linda knows, if you have good help, your business is a lot better. And
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I just want to say something about like Amy looking so good, which I agree. I think she does too. But I said to a friend of mine after I came back from Orlando, because I've hardly seen anybody this year, because I've just been at like a handful of shows. And it's like so many people looked better than ever to me because everybody hasn't been at as many shows. And they're just taking better care of themselves. They're just not as exhausted. You know, because unfortunately you guys, I mean, it's just exhausting some years. You know, it's hard to look good when you're exhausted.
Definitely. Yeah. And like Linda was saying too, we had 40 shows in the month of November leading into December. So that was crazy again. And there was no option. You had to work it because we didn't know if dog shows were going to be canceled again or not. So you have to work them. You have to make your income while you can. But I agree, Tim, and I wish so much we would go back to a condensed weekends, not these 4 or 5 day shows, because they take it out of us and they take it out of the dogs.
We all remember when we were younger and there was, you know, a Saturday and Sunday show, and that was it. And maybe on Thanksgiving, you know, there was a 3 or 4 day weekend, right?
Yeah, I think that as handlers, and we all get along better too, when we don't have to see the long weekends. Those long weekends seem to build some animosity between camps.
Well, and you know what I hate too is a person who, I mean, even though I show somebody else's dog usually, but since I have a career outside of the dogs, I can't go to 4 and 5 day weekends all the time, or hardly, you know, I have to really limit myself. And so it's hard to compete, you know, with people who can go all the time to all of the shows. So it's like, right off this, you know, the start, it's not an even playing field, you know, just based on that. And if there was, you know, like if we could go back to just having 3 shows a weekend, it, you know, could be more fair for everybody. But I mean, I'm not obviously part of AKC, and so I don't make the rules, but I do think it's healthier for the people and the dogs. I mean, if I had to ask for like one wish for the dog world, like for 2021 and going forward, that would be mine probably, is like a reset to not have so many dog shows. And the one thing about, you know, like at least in the Northeast, because we had very few, the shows that we had, they were big shows. There was majors in every breed practically, and it was great.
It was great to see the best of the best all together and having to compete. I definitely agree with you, and I would have the exact same wish. Fewer shows and higher quality at the shows too.
Yeah. And the judges all feel the same way.
We really do. I mean, it's like you almost, I think what we feel though is that we have seen too many of our colleagues out there at too many of the shows, so that even if you're 50 miles away, 100 miles away, or 300 miles away, at the end of the day, especially at the group level, those group judges were almost always the same. And so if your dog wasn't a favorite of theirs, or one that they, you know, wanted to support for, you know, with because they thought it was such and such and such and such, you didn't get what you deserved either. So I think that AKC needs to rethink the fact that they've allowed judges they've eliminated to 200 miles, they've eliminated the 30 days, and that limits the judges that are going to be used. And unfortunately, what happens is clubs that don't limit then they're hiring all these extra people, and they're hiring the same people that people saw a week ago.
Well, they're hiring Aubrey judges, number one, Aubrey judges to cover everything. And it's the same. We don't have that many Aubrey judges. So therefore you get the same judges all the time, because we have, and they're unfortunately dying, but we have 28 Aubrey judges out of 3,800 judges. So
I think as things begin to reopen, and hopefully that 2021 is going to be the year of the new preview of reopening, that will self-limit itself. But in the meantime, and it's a struggle, and there are lots of judges who are more than willing to go out, and they're not the ones that are being called because they don't do 7 groups. And
but it has to be up to like the show chairman, to the clubs and all that too, to not necessarily have 2 shows a year. Maybe to say no to their second show. I know with Progressive, everybody wanted us to have a second show like before, in June, and I said no way. It's like, why? We don't need to.
I'm not a member of a show committee. I know Phil is for Detroit Kennel Club, but you are, Kim, as well. What are the pros and cons of that? Because I don't know. Is it more affordable to have multiple days for a club? Is that why?
Absolutely. I think to survive in this day and age, unfortunately, you've got to have at least 4 shows. You do a 2-show weekend, and if you have within 201 miles of you a 4-show weekend, where are the handlers going to go? Because, face it, at least for me as a show chair running Wolfstock, I love my handlers. They bring quality, they bring quantity. They're professional. They take care of their sites. I support our handlers because I think they're integral to our sport. So if you have 2 shows, Saturday and Sunday, and 201 miles from you, which doesn't even apply right now, you have 4 shows. Where are the handlers going to go? Now I will preface that with judging panels. However, they're going to go where they can get majors, okay, with their dogs, because their clients want their dogs finished, right? So are they going to go to a 2-dog show, or are they going to go to a 4-dog show if both have equal quality judges?
Kim is really right, but
they have equal quality judges.
Right, which is a big if, but I'm just saying, samey, they're going to go to 4 shows because they've already spent the gas, they've already driven, they've already done all of that. And there's more majors. Everyone's looking for majors. Everyone's looking for group points. Everyone's running dogs to, rank, correct? So you need points. And
our cluster runs in December.
Right.
And we always
against Orlando.
Yes, against Orlando. We've always had 3 shows.
Right.
And everybody kept saying, we'd come if you had more than 3 shows. And then, AKC offered the opportunity, and each of the clubs picked up another day. And we had like this super positive response, and it was going to be wonderful. However, 2 days before the show closed, the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania limited occupancy to 5% of the posted occupancy, which was going to leave us, instead of 2,200 people in a building, which was going to generate 1,500 dogs. It was going to leave us with 5% or 110 people in a building, and it became impossible. And
Sure.
We are having the same discussion about, is this what we want to do? And the fact of the matter is, people are going to need catch-up time, for example, at the end of the year or whatever. So you can turn it around both ways. Is it more economical? We figured out you pay more for a building. It isn't, we're in a building and that was the way it was going to be. But it was the demand that we got from not only the handlers, but the local people who show their own dogs, wanting more opportunities in their own area to show the dogs. And so we listened to that, and you're right, because people aren't going to come to our show if they can go down to Orlando for 6 days.
Right.
So everything has a balance. Just as you balance and dress your own clothes and put proportion into it. It's the same thing. I think that's a very kind of a gestalt kind of a thing in anything, that how you find the balance of it. Just as you have to find the balance in going out. Linda, you have a family. you have to go out and balance that family life that you have with the fact that you are on the road and you're also a breeder. And Tim, you have to balance it between your professional life as in hair and somebody who likes to show dogs and those kinds of things. And Amy, you have a kennel that you were running and your 16 other things that you were doing in your lives. And there's all that balance. And each person has to find that own little place where they can find peace with themselves and do it. And so that's how I think the opportunities got so varied. And I think the thought of going back to weekends with 2 shows, while it sounds divine on most days, if we had that this year and we were held to it this year, we would have been in a lot of trouble and dogdom would have been in a lot of economic problems that we never would have survived.
Okay, so maybe
let me ask Linda and Tim and Amy, because you're all professional handlers. Okay, I never was. Always an owner handler. If you had a choice between going to 4 or 5 shows with decent judges or 2 shows, your clients are pushing you, correct? You want dogs finished, right? So you don't have much choice. I mean, your clients kind of dictate, don't they?
No. I don't. In my case, no. I mean, my clients they understand me. I just kind of look at it and do my own thing, and they trust me to do the right thing. So if the judging panel at a 2-show weekend is fantastic, then that might be a good time to say, you know what? I don't need to go to 4 shows every single weekend for 3 months in a row. Let's just take this weekend so we can have a few days at home and work on our property or whatever.
I love to hear that. Okay.
I would always pick the judging panel over the number. Me personally.
Same with you, Amy?
For us, the same thing. We're grateful at this point in our career that we have the clients that hire us for our opinion. So they don't tell us what shows to enter. They allow us to give them our advice of what's the best shows for us to enter. So and just like Linda was saying, Phil does our schedule and he will say, okay, we went to this many shows already this month. We can afford to go to a 2-day weekend because it's close to home. It has a good panel, blah, blah, blah. So you kind of look at the big picture of the month, how many shows you've gone to in total, what have you accomplished for the dogs that are on your list and what their goals were. And then you can choose your shows from there. A great panel, I can guarantee you this, a great panel trumps 4 days, in my opinion and in my husband's opinion. A great panel, people that we want to see what we have that we think are excellent and we can't wait for a great panel's opinion for, that will trump 4 days any day of the week.
I agree.
And that's exactly why I think both Kim and I are really sticklers about, I have to compete against the shows in Orlando. And I respect good judges. And my panels are always, as Kimberly can well attest, my panels are always filled with good judges.
Well, and you can ask Linda, I call people, I call breeders that, I've asked Linda's opinion. I asked Bill McFadden on terriers. I mean, I call people and I say, what about this person? What about that person? And I call and contact people that I respect in the sport. And there are 3 right here with us that I do respect that I, will call and say, will you show to so-and-so? Will you show to so? And I think and that's why I hire 3 years in advance, because I want the judges I want. And if you don't nail them down 3 years in advance, then they're going to be judging somewhere else. And so
that's very true. That is very true.
The primary, besides the fun, and it is fun of Woofstock, my crazy ass idea, my panels, I think, are always stellar. And I do that by hiring 3 years in advance and getting opinions of people in the sport that I admire.
Right. Kim, your panels are excellent. And I believe Linda and I have at different periods of time driven our buses all the way up to California just to support your shows because you've gotten great panels. The same thing with Elaine. Yes, it's the same weekend as Orlando, but if it's a better panel of judges, I know Phil's been to Elaine's show before.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. And he was very happy to be there. And Linda has visited a few times.
Yes.
I visited even one time when I didn't have a dog entered, but
I've
been there.
Oh my God.
I remember that too.
Wow.
Yeah. I like it. So, Elaine, that's a testament. If I just come up there and didn't even have a dog to show, just
for the
flew
day.
in just
That's a true testament.
Just to see
exactly.
it.
We don't need those kind of testaments from you ever again. We're very happy to see you in the ring.
Right.
Wow.
Another question I wanted to ask everybody while we have everybody together, and I know this is going to sound like a crazy thing to ask you about, but what was the best thing about being at home that you experienced? If we've all been home. What if you had to say there was something very good that came through it? What would you say? What would you say, Amy? What was the good thing that came through for you? Oh, she smiled. Okay. Oh, I see that. Okay.
Honestly, it was a bad time for COVID to happen. My husband and I had just shut down our business in Michigan, moved across country to California to try our hand at a boarding kennel. We quickly realized within a year that that wasn't what we wanted to do, and it wasn't the location or the place for us. And then we had the opportunity to come here, and it was an excellent opportunity. I think we got to 2 weekends of dog shows, and then COVID hit. So there's a lot of expense going out the window in a short period of time to then not have an income. So 2020, it was a tough year, but I will always thank everything for 2020 because it made us stronger, and it made you find other avenues, other ways of making a living, other strengths that you didn't know you had. And I was able to start a YouTube channel and get the support of Canine Chronicle TV to train others how to do different things with their dogs. Yeah, that didn't make any money, but it was a definite goal of mine to help others. And I'm looking forward to being able to continue that in January. But 2020 was hard, but I loved the year for the time at home and the ways that it taught me to be stronger.
Fabulous.
I have to say, Amy, I don't mean to interrupt, but your YouTube videos, especially Phil, with like how to maintain your van, your car. I mean, it's kind of like people that go to college and they have, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 years of college, but they don't know how to balance their checkbook, or they don't know how to run their normal everyday life that is no longer taught in schools. For you guys to go, okay, here's how you change your oil. Here's how you do this. Just the basics of dog shows, I thought was phenomenal. It's never been done before.
So Kim, don't worry about getting to a mechanic now. You've got it down, right?
I know, like when we were kids, we went to a library and like we maybe had a half a dozen books to choose from,
Right.
Of dog books.
Right. Well,
I loved Linda, your interview. Was it last week or the week before that you did? So much of what you said about your childhood, I related to so much. It was just like, I got it,
You remember when you used to have to go to the drugstore to get a magazine and you could look at the ads?
What was it? It was Dog World. It was Dog World.
Dog World magazine.
Dog World.
Yeah.
Exactly. I got into dogs. Part of the reason was because when I was like in 4th grade, we had about 6, dog books in the library, and I always checked them out over and over. And one day the librarian said to me, "Oh, do you have a dog?" And she happened to show Scottish Terriers. And she said there was a dog show, in Minneapolis coming up. And like, I made my mom take me, and that was it. Crazy.
Right. And Linda didn't even get the first, Linda, who gets basically what she wants, didn't get the first dog that she wanted, but she made lemonade out of lemons, right?
That's for sure.
Yeah, but the thing is that I related about when she was talking in an interview. I mean, she obviously dreamt about dogs when she was younger, and that's the way I was too. It's like I thought of one thing basically, and that was that.
And what was your strength in 2020?
Mine? Mm-hmm. What I would have to say, mine was very simple. I loved being rested. I discovered walking paths in my area where I live that I never knew existed along the Hudson River, that were like I was having like spiritual awakenings. I mean, I felt like in The Sound of Music, some days like out there with the sun rising, and it was just like I never had time to experience a spring, like I did last spring. Seeing the flowers.
And it was a magnificent spring in the Northeast.
Yeah.
Everything just
so
bloomed.
Mine was just
I've never seen.
like simple pleasures of kind of being a normal person, not on a rat race, is what I did like about this past year.
Linda?
I'll second that. It was nice it was nice, my pajama life on the couch some days, just kind of like hanging out. I don't have that luxury ever. But I got to breed the dogs that I wanted to breed, and I got to raise my puppies myself and watch them in a way that I haven't been able to do in a long, long time. Like I have 2 litters of puppies in my house right now, and I'm just trying to decide what to keep, what to place. It's just been nice to not have to load it up and drive out the driveway every Wednesday morning.
And sometimes not come home from week to week.
Oh, well, look what's going to happen in January. 4 weeks, 4-day weekends in a row with a 5-day weekend in Florida, and then a week off, and then a couple more weeks. So yeah, it's a circus life. If you can stand it, it's great, but it's not for everybody for sure.
Well, I think particularly, Linda, in breeds that are disappearing, and cockers are certainly one. And if you do see them, unfortunately, as a judge, I won't comment. To someone who is as important to the breed as she is, to be able to have these litters, and I'm going back to Bill Shelton with his preservation breeding. It's so important to our sport and to the breed itself. It's just so when I hear that, I get goosebumps. It's fabulous.
And I still like it. So I'm not bored with it. And I have I'm sitting here looking at puppies and thinking, okay, now we can breed that to that. And that's something like 3 or 4 years down the road. Well, that may or may not work out, but I just had a dog show today in my backyard to look at puppies.
There you go. There you go. And I would die to be there. I would love that. I love that stuff. One of the most memorable things that ever happened to me, I was judging in Ohio, and it was after Best in Show, and it was before my knee surgery, and I was in a tremendous amount of pain, and they had to cart me off on a golf cart. And I came back, and there was Bobby Kinley with a Bernese Mountain Dog puppy. There was Tommy Oslager with 2 Siberian puppies. There was, there was an Afghan. These are all just stellar breeders. And there was an Afghan puppy. There was 8 puppies with breeders that I just absolutely admire. And they were having a little fun match. They were just, socializing their puppies and moving them around and stuff. And I sat there and I watched that, and I wish I would have videotaped it, because I bawled and cried watching these people that I so respect with these puppies, maybe from 8 weeks to 12 weeks, and this group of dedicated breeders. And I'll tell you what, it just I was sobbing watching it. And that's kind of how I feel about Amy, and I feel about Linda. These are people that our sport desperately needs, and I love you guys.
And I think that's what's been so good too about this content, the online and all that too, is that we're getting to see more of that, and I find it really inspiring. To stay connected to people like that and to learn more about them.
Doug and Jamie, have you seen Doug and Jamie's videos they're doing with Doug and Jamie with the Clumbers and the Sussex, these rare spaniels? I mean, this is incredible.
So Kim, in your very difficult 2021, where did you find the joy in your life?
Oh, that's a tough one.
But it's there. You know that.
My home, this relocation and this home, I don't even want to go into it, but my divorce absolutely devastated me. It broke me. I'm still broken. But I will get better. I will.
It looks like you're in a beautiful new home.
Yes, I love where I am, and it's the start of a new life, and I just have to go forward. What are you going to do? I mean, what are you going to do? I have no choice. So, looking forward, upward and onward for 2021. And, the most important thing we all have is health. If we don't have health, we have nothing. And at our ages, none of us are well. There's a few of us here that are young, not me. I think that if we're healthy, that's 99% of the game, right?
That is, and there's place to find joy somewhere. And I just want to share with where my joy came from. I'm in my closet. People have man caves.
Do you have a chandelier? I just want to know. Do you have a chandelier?
I do. Wait, I'll turn the camera.
Can we see your chandelier? I would have bet $1,000 there was a there it is. Okay, all right. All right, cheers. Cheers to the chandelier in
And
the
I
closet.
would like you to all to know that was something I purchased.
And do you have like a mini bar in there too?
Unfortunately, I
Do you have
can't
like a
metabolize
Botox table,
alcohol.
a Botox injection site table?
Okay, that's what we should have as a Botox party, okay?
Yeah.
Sometime in
I'm
person.
Sign
in.
me
I'm
up.
in. Count me in. Count me
Well,
in.
if we want to find somebody who'll do it on camera, we can certainly give it a shot. We have enough
No, but I meant
volunteers.
like in person, actually. I meant like in person.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, in any event, so my closet has been my refuge. Not only do I do Closet Confidential for the Canine Chronicle as well, and I also do yin yoga in here, which is a very interesting form of yoga where everything's done on the mat. And if I could move this thing again so it doesn't move, let's see if we can. All my yoga stuff is on the bottom shelf.
So you do it in your closet?
Yep, I put the mat down. Can you see the yoga stuff on the bottom shelf?
Okay.
Yeah.
All that yoga stuff. Yes, the mat comes in onto a little needlepoint rug, and I do yin yoga. And it's been a wonderful thing for my body, not my hair. I still have this flyaway hair we haven't talked about. And it's just been really wonderful for me. I recontoured. I find it to be, it's an hour of what the instructor says, self. A chance to get into yourself and just be with you. And I think we all have to like being with ourselves. So I kind of like doing it 3 times a week and being with myself. And I've enjoyed it. I've enjoyed all the people along the way who stopped you at a dog show and said, oh, I love that episode about such and such. And I look at me today, and I knew you were going to be here and I dressed up this way. That's very rewarding because that's what this whole thing should be about. It should be about realizing that there's somebody out there alone in a room or on Zoom with their friends. And we're providing them, all of you at some point in time this season this past year have provided content for people in our community. Think about it. You've done interviews. You've been out there doing seminars. I mean, you've just done so many things that have been so helpful to the community. And I think that's what it's about. And if nothing else comes out of this whole thing, we all got to do something that we didn't expect that was going to be a positive for somebody else. And I think that that's the part of my life that I've probably enjoyed more than anything else this year. I'm not coming out of the closet, everybody, and I'm going to stay in this closet until I can't stand up anymore, make you smile, make you laugh, or make you have a wonderful time. I get to work with a wonderful cameraman. His name is Alex. And I get to work with a wonderful tech guy, and that's Anthony. And between those guys, they put out all the productions that you see on Canine Chronicle TV, and they have made them look. Some of you appear in their commercials. So we all know how wonderful this has been for us and for our community. And I think that Tom and Amy have done an outstanding job of bringing community together. Because how many people, Amy, have stopped you? Linda, that said they've seen your different stuff. Tim, that saw your contribution with all the hair stuff. And Kim, just because you've been on so many different platforms and done so many exciting and wonderful things and really have made yourself the goddess of California and Oregon now.
But thank you.
So I think that we've all come a very long way. And there's somebody out there. I did an interview on the Glam Cam with a young man who freely admitted in front of the camera that he was gay and that he was the only gay man in his little town. And he led a life that he felt very bullied and awful. And as a result of that, he didn't like himself. And he went and he changed several things about himself. And now he was liking himself and his life much better. And there was some young man out there, young boy, that heard that. And
he told you this at a dog show? He came up to you and told you all this?
He was coming to the Glam Cam because I thought he looked wonderful. He was in a beautiful suit. And he just opened up to something that he needed to share with the community. And if we've done nothing else, I'm sure people have come to you, Amy, come to you,
That's
all
important.
of us. Linda, I saw you, or your hair looks fabulous all the time in pictures. How do you do it? It's ways to open conversations with others. And I think that we do a real service, actually. But in the service, you always get more than, get it back by giving.
And that's like with the hair too. It's always about the person feeling better. It's nice to look better, but ultimately it only works because you feel better.
Exactly.
With it.
And that's just what I thought was the one thing about 2020. Maybe it made us all a little bit more sensitive to somebody else or to be giving back to somebody else, because at the end of the day, we probably all knew we were going to be okay, but there's somebody out there who does not know that.
Mhm.
And that's how I very, very much feel. And I want to stop on a happy thought. So
That's a great way to end it. That's a perfect way to end it.
Mhm.
this has been an amazing experience to be with such talented, remarkable people today. I cannot thank you enough, Kimberly Meredith, Linda Pitts, Amy Booth, Tim Lehman, all of us from different aspects of the sport, but all of us love what we do when we're involved in the sport, and we love the people that we participate with in the sport. And so we each wish you, and we're each going to just give you a real quick happy 2021. May your dreams come true, and may your wishes be
Cheers.
fulfilled. And here's a
Yeah.
bottle of
Oh, here's for
champagne
Linda.
to share
Here's
with
for Linda.
everybody. So spread the Linda.
Happy New Year.
And
Love you
happy New
guys.
Year.
Love you, love you, love you.
And this is Elaine Lessig on behalf of the Canine Chronicle, holding a wonderful bottle of champagne for Closet Confidential and the Glam Cam. We'll see you soon. Happy New Year.
Happy New
Happy
Year.
New Year.
Happy New Year.